Hello, everyone. In Marveleando, we're here with June Carryl, the actress and playwright who was one of the leads in the recent Marvel's Helstrom. June, welcome to the podcast. I'm so happy to have you here.
It's so wonderful to get to meet you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much for joining. It's such a pleasure to have you here, especially as your acting in the show is amazing. And I loved your
Oh,
character. It
thank you.
was honestly my favorite.
Oh, thank you. That really means a lot. Thank you. I really loved getting to live in Louise's head. Um she was fun. She was a lot of fun to play. A lot of fun to
She really was. I mean, all her scenes are so fun,
Yeah.
and she has a real character development. Like we see in the start, for example, with her cancer storyline, that she doesn't want to get cured, but in the end, uh, she gets operated, and
Yeah.
and,
And
and
she's okay with it.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's like,
she
okay, well, it's taken care of for me. So I'm cool.
she's such a badass.
Yeah. She's still with us.
Well, June, I wanted to start this interview with something with a simple question, because we know you from Helstrom, of course, but you also were in Mindhunter, in
Yeah.
Grey's Anatomy, Dead to
Yeah.
Me, Shameless.
Yeah.
But I would like you to introduce yourself for those who might not know much about you or about your career.
Okay. So I started out actually in theater. I was supposed to be a lawyer and studied up until graduate school and then decided to switch majors. Um, and as I say, I started in theater. My playwriting teacher told me to go west to a conservatory called American Conservatory Theater and study there for 10 weeks. I went and I never looked back. Um, the stuff I've gotten to do, like my first big thing was, well, we'll see. A Smile Like Yours was good, but Sweet November, which I got to do with Keanu Reeves. I got to play his
Oh,
surly
wow.
secretary. That was my thing. I got to play the surly secretary, and that was really neat. Um, and did What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams. I'm sort of the reason Robin Williams ends up going into the underworld. Um, I got to do, I mean, most recently, the stuff has been stuff like The Mayor documentary now. Um, as you said, Mindhunter, which was really incredibly gratifying. And then Helstrom came along. Yeah. Theater wise, it's been, I think my favorite two roles have been Gertie Fail in Failure a Love Story, which was by Philip K. Dawkins. We did it at Celebration Theater. I'm sorry, at Courage Theater. And then the show I did at Celebration most recently was Cabaret. I got to play Fraulein Schneider, and that was amazing. It was an amazing production. That was at Celebration Theater. Yeah, it was cool.
I bet it was amazing. And
It was so cool. Little
like
black box. It was amazing. It was
and,
they reproduced the Kit Kat Club.
and everything like you listed, like for example, the movie with Robin Williams. That's such a
Yeah,
good movie.
I know. I know. It is. It is such a good movie. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, June, I wanted to ask you, when you're acting, what's the thing that motivates you the most? What makes you become a better actress with every portrayal that you make?
I think each time I'm aiming to get a little closer to telling the truth,
Mhm.
to being truthful about who this person is. And um, that can actually be really scary because when someone is not pleasant or is showing not their something that is not their best side, showing less than their best side, it's tempting to worry more about being liked than being truthful. And so I think that it really is true what people say. Um, being honest, the chance to be honest and to take the chance on being honest. That's, I think, how is when I'm at my best, when I'm being the most honest.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now that you have like a solid acting career and a solid career in theaters, before getting into the Marvel territory, what advice would you give to anyone who wants to pursue a career in acting or playing, well, playing in theater or writing theater plays?
Yeah. I think there are two things. If you really want to do this, be prepared to hear no and do it anyway. Don't stop at no. Because most of our job is hearing no. And so you have to really want to, you have to really want to. A lot of times people will say, well, I'll try it and I'll give myself this number of years. And if I don't make it by then I'll move on. But I don't think this is something you can just sort of try on. You have to be willing to go the whole 9 yards and stick with it, because you don't know what your trajectory is going to be or when you're going to succeed. And so you have to have the tenacity to stick with it. You just have to have the tenacity to stick with it. And the one plan that you don't want to make is to have a fallback. I mean, yes, you want to be smart, but like Sidney Poitier said, don't have a fallback plan or you will fall back. If this is something that you're doing just to sort of see, or it's something you do on the side, then a hard road will become much harder. So yeah, don't have a fallback and be prepared to hear no and
Those
do it
are
anyway.
those are actually good advices, and I think they can apply to wherever field, like not just acting.
Mm-hmm. I think so. I think so. Yeah, we hear no a lot in life, and
That's right.
what we do with that is our choice. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, we have to do the thing that we like the most.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
for example, I'm studying history, and
Yes.
it's a career that they say no, you won't get a job, but it's like what they want to do. It's the same with acting and with a lot of
Yep.
other jobs.
Yep. If it makes you feel alive, if it makes you feel present, then you have to value it enough to do it no matter what.
Exactly.
Yeah. History is amazing too. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It has a lot of fields, and it's
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Is there a particular field of history, world history, or European, or?
Well, right now I'm doing like general history. Right now
Yep.
I'm studying prehistory and ancient Greece,
Yep.
but I'd like to get a master in contemporary history,
Yep.
because
Oh,
well,
that's cool.
I mean, I think it's what it's affecting us the most,
Hmm.
because it's when we are living in. So
It's what we're living in. Yeah, we're making it and watching it happen right now.
exactly. But well, this interview isn't about me. Well, getting now into the Marvel questions, because this podcast is about Marvel.
Yes.
You were cast in as Dr. Louise Hastings in 2019, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
How was the casting process? How did it go? And how did you feel when you were given the role?
It was very secretive. The process was very like hush hush. They gave us blind sides, which are, not the real thing. And, knowing so little, I was just thrilled to get to play what on the page was this three-dimensional person. And so I've learned, I think, to every so often I fall back on it, but I've learned for the most part not to get too wedded to something, but to something that I'm auditioning for. But there was just something so cool about getting to play this woman who was not quite believing and at the same time steeped in the tradition that she was that was her field, and she was just really interesting. And so, we did one round and, you know, didn't really hear anything. Then got a call back and just did the same section over again with Jeff in the room and Paul and Megan in the room, the executive producer and the showrunner, and just played. And then just got a phone call about a week later saying, so, from Jeff saying, so I want to welcome you to the Marvel universe. And it was just like, what? What? I just, I I was a little bit stunned and a little bit scared.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, it just felt like, I mean, it was just kind of like, yes, this feels like it's supposed to happen. Yeah, not like it's destiny or anything, but this woman felt so familiar to me that I just was like, yeah. And then it was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? How do I get this right? It's Marvel. I don't want to mess up.
I'm sure that was such an exciting call to get.
It was amazing. It was amazing. I was just kind of sitting there like, okay, okay. It was one of the best feelings I've ever had.
That's so great to listen to.
Yeah.
And June, if you had to choose one thing that you like the most about Louise and about playing her, what would you say?
I think what I like most about Louise is how undaunted she is, because she's seen a lot. And while she still has the capacity to be surprised, she never completely falls off the balance beam. That's kind of that's so, which is why when what happens to her happens, watching her try to hold on, and make it work, make things work with her diagnosis, um, with her, with Damon and Anna, with Mom, watching her try to hold steady is, I think, sort of a study in how to be a good human being. She makes mistakes, but her faith in human nature doesn't flag even when she fails, which is, I think, a very hard thing to do for yourself, let alone for other people, especially when the world is popping off with demons and craziness like
Yes,
that.
but it's right. It's like, I think the first scene in the show was you were typing
Yeah,
some files, and everything starts to go mad,
yeah,
and she already knew what was happening,
yeah,
and she goes to see Mom.
yeah.
Well, and there is like the body there that was killed, I think,
Hmm.
and she already knows how to act.
And it's like, okay, I can handle this. I'm handling this.
Exactly.
I'm handling this.
Uh, well, June, uh, if I'm not mistaken, the show was shot in British Columbia in Canada.
In Vancouver, yep. Hmm.
Okay, and did you get to shoot with the COVID-19 security measures, or you were done before the lockdown?
We were done before lockdown. We just got in under the wire. We got through, and 4 days later they closed the border. We
All
finished
right.
we put episode 10 in the can, and we're starting our first day of reshoots when they close the border.
So you didn't have to do any kind of security measure. Well,
No.
that's good.
Yeah. It was, and it was weird because we were all a little bit like, so are we going on? Because we were like one of the last few productions to keep going. So it was a little eerie. It was weird. It was very weird. Yeah.
I bet.
But I was so glad we got to do the whole thing.
How much time did it take you to finish an episode?
It would be 9-10 days per episode.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And do you have like a favorite scene or a scene you say, wow, this particular scene was really hard to shoot?
Yes. I think probably my favorite scene was one of the first that I got to shoot. Because it was the first time that I was working with the actor playing Damon, Tom, and the scene is it seems very matter of fact, but I think because the acting is so good in the show.
It is.
And that scene, what was so striking about it was that he went all the way there. He was this, he just went the whole 9 yards. And it was like, okay, I got to bring my A game. Now I see where we are. You get plunged into the deep end with somebody, and all of the actors are like this. I think another favorite scene was, so there was that first scene where I'm like, what are you doing? And then there was another scene that was a really wonderful to get to film, was working with Bob, when we're talking after he discovers something about me, and it was just two old friends sitting around talking. Those scenes, I think, were so beautifully written, so just right in the pocket. And the getting to actually I have to take it back, because then there's the scene where I'm talking to Anna for the first time, and I'm like, oh, what is this child gonna do now? What is she gonna do now? And then getting to work with Elizabeth, that was amazing, because she's just, everything she does is just, you're just like, oh, sorry, I should be acting. I should stop watching her and just act. Getting to work with Ariana, every single cast member made me feel so much respect and awe for their crafts and their ability that, it just, I guess I don't really have a favorite. But the first time you do anything, I think, is probably the one that sticks the most, but not for any other reason than that it was the first scene in the can. Yeah.
It was such a well-written show. Like,
I know.
honestly, all those scenes that you mentioned were really good. Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. Just such great people to play with. Great actors to play with. I just feel so lucky. I feel really lucky.
And like, I guess that during the shoots, like, it wasn't like just like going to work. It was something better than that, right?
It was very special. Yeah, it was better than what it was like it was like being at summer camp. It was just like being at summer camp. It was like, okay, what are we gonna do today? It was just really a lot of fun. So gratifying. Every time it was just an adventure. It was just an adventure, one nonstop adventure. Yeah.
Right. I mean, this show, there is no time to breathe. When something ends, the next thing starts.
Yep.
But honestly, it's like really well written. And if some people listening to this haven't watched it, pause the interview and go watch Helstrom on Hulu or on Disney Plus Star.
Or Disney Plus.
Yeah, if you're in international waters.
Yeah. It's a really good show. It's a really good story. because it's just about people trying to figure out how to be the very best people they can under the worst circumstances, and how they rise to the occasion, how to
Exactly.
be them. They're trying to figure out who they want to be when in the face of pure evil. And it's so human and um so much about just the human connections and disconnections and how things go left when you're trying to be a good person, you know, with demons thrown in and things flying and sparks and flying,
Well,
lots of amazing animation.
that's what I was going to say. Like being in the Marvel universe, being in the universe where Thanos is fighting against the Avengers,
Yep.
it feels like a chapter, like a story. It's very human, very more close to the people, maybe. Even though that there are
Yes,
demons and it's crazy in
I
its own way,
agree.
but it's maybe a product closer to the audience, like in the way
Hmm.
like it's more settled in the real world,
Yeah,
even though it's
yeah.
the same universe.
It's the same universe, but it's a different pocket of that universe, and they milked that for all it was worth. And I thought it was a really smart way to handle it because, it's not demons and uh, demons are a different animal, and they really went about treating this as its own animal, its own world, and I think that that was what made it so special. Gave it its own special stamp.
For sure. It's
Yeah.
it was really I don't have enough words to praise the show and everyone in the crew and the cast because it was so good.
Yeah.
uh, but well, continuing on, you had to promote the show during the COVID pandemic, and
Hmm.
everything had to be online, like we're doing
Hmm.
now. But
Hmm.
we're doing it online because we are in two different continents. But how was the experience promoting the show online? Like, you also went to Comic Con, and
Right.
how was
We
that?
went to Comic Con online. We did Comic Con online, and I've never been to Comic Con,
Hmm.
so it wasn't. And since we were already in COVID land and everybody's doing everything on small screens, it wasn't that weird for me. It was a lot of fun, actually. There would be days where you'd sort of start in a room and you'd go from you'd sit in a room, and then somebody new would be introduced to you, and then somebody else would be new and introduced to you, and so on and so on and so on. And I as fun as it was, I can only imagine how much more fun it would be doing it live,
Right.
because getting to I think the big thing that was the most fun for me was just getting to see everybody again, and that camaraderie was still there. And so, yeah, I mean, so we did it with with computer screens. I don't think it diminished the experience at all. Not for me anyway. I
Oh,
thought it
that's
was really
great.
fun. Yeah, yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
Hopefully, when all this is over, we'll get to see you in Comic Con in a panel or something.
Oh, that'd be neat. I'd be down.
Me too. Well, June, uh, the show unfortunately has ended
Oh, it's so fun
with
talking to you.
with a
Oh, our
huge
show.
the show
Yeah, Helstrom. Yeah,
Helstrom
the show. Yeah,
uh, with a huge cliffhanger.
yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, how would you have liked for Luis's story to continue, or did you get any information about how she would have developed in a hypothetical second season?
In a hypothetical. Golly, I don't know. It's always fun to muse on what if. I think a what if for me that I did sort of think would be kind of cool would be, oh my gosh, what if Louise got taken over by a demon?
Oh wow, that
you
would be
know,
fun.
because she's gotten away with it. She's gotten away. She's gotten away for this long. I just wonder what it would be like if, yeah, that's kind of a fun one to be like. I wonder what would happen? What would that be like? Because I think it would just completely, we were talking about her being so steady on. I think that it would be interesting to see her take on the challenge of being taken over. That would be interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah. And how she would recover from that,
uh,
if she were allowed to recover from that.
and it would be like a different way to play her because you are
Yeah.
playing her, but it's not really her,
Right.
and maybe she's trying to fight
Yeah.
like Elizabeth Marvel in
Like
her
Elizabeth
character
Marvel.
did.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could be
Yeah.
actually fun to see.
That could be fun. That could be really fun.
Well, like your character, if I'm not mistaken, in the comics, like she's a hero. Like she
Yes.
fights alongside Ghost Rider
Mm-hmm.
and that show was supposed to happen. Like maybe we could also have seen that
Yeah.
because in the later two episodes we see her fighting against the
Yep.
demons
Mm-hmm.
and sacrificing herself to save Caretaker.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Spoilers, but yeah.
yes, yes. Well, the people who listen to the podcast know that this is
They already know.
yeah.
They already know.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I think she is a fighter. She's a natural born fighter,
Yes.
and that impulse is very much of a piece with who she is. Yeah. She's a fighter.
She is.
Yeah.
And a badass.
And badass.
Well, as we said before, the show, even though it's in its own pocket, it's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes.
But as the show won't be continuing, there have been recast in these sagas. Like, for example, we had Alfred Woodard, who played Miriam Sharp in Captain America Civil War, and then went on to play Mariah Dillard with a bigger role in Luke Cage. Or Mahershala Ali, he played Cottonmouth, and now will headline Blade.
Yeah.
If you could return to the Marvel Universe as another character, do you know who you would like to be or what kind of character you'd like to portray?
I would love to portray somebody in somebody who has to deal with Black Panther, yeah. Somebody who has like the Queen Mother.
Oh,
but as a fighter. I would love to get my hand on one of those weapons.
Like the Queen's personal fighter.
Yes. I would love that. I would love that. Be like a general or something,
That would
be like
great.
Yeah, that would be so fun. I think it would be really, really fun.
You could go Marvel and tell them.
Oh yeah, I'll go tell them. Okay, so what had happened was we decided
Black Panther 2 is about to start production, so you will still have time.
So hi, I'm here.
I really hope to see you more in the Marvel universe as another character, or even other franchises where we can see more of you. Like I don't know.
I would love that. Thank you.
Fantastic Beasts. DC.
Oh yeah. Fantastic Beasts would be so fun. That would be fun.
You could be an auror or a teacher, or I mean, teachers are super fun in this universe. I love them.
Yeah, yeah. They get all the good lines.
Well, I guess that the most positive thing that you got from Helstrom was working with such a talented cast, and as well as the final result. Because as we've been talking, it seems like you were a family. Like you were colleagues, but you were also a family.
It was a really tight group. And I think that's probably the hardest part of it ending, is that we didn't that you get sort of scattered to the seven winds, and that you do start to miss people. It's like, oh, I wonder what they're doing now. Oh,
Hopefully you get to play together again.
I hope so. You never know.
Exactly. Like the dynamic between the actors and the actresses was so good, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Everybody was just really open
Mhm.
and really nice and just down to play, and that made, I think, all the difference. I mean, there was just a yeah, that openness, and it was unique. It was a unique ensemble experience.
It,
Really, really positive. Yeah.
it was, and of course, as it's great that it's a show that doesn't hide away from its perks, like
Yeah.
demons, which is for some people a touchy subject, or I mean, they
Mhm.
even touched the LGBT
Yep.
things with Anna,
Yep.
which for some, unfortunately, is still a touchy subject. Uh,
Right.
and in that way, it was such a brave show.
I absolutely agree. It was a really brave show. It was really brave and unapologetic about it, just
Of
like, no,
course,
this is our view of the world. And you can get with that or not, but this is our view of the world, and we're not going to tiptoe with that.
exactly.
Just a show that, and I think a lot of that had to do with Paul, the showrunner. He is a very engaged person where the world is concerned, and he made room for that for
Mhm.
all of us, gave us permission to that, and that was what ended up in the writing, and it was just so important. It just, because it ended up carrying over into life, because we were looking at some really hard things happening last year,
Yeah,
and Paul was the one to say, in Comic-Con, look, we need to talk about this, and we got to, and that just speaks volumes to me about where the guy's heart is.
that's right. Paul, I think he worked in other Marvel shows,
He did.
and his work was amazing, and it was
Yeah.
amazing in Helstrom. And I think
Yeah.
he was supposed to show run as well, most wanted,
Yes,
and,
I
and
think so. Yeah.
I'm so sad that that didn't go through. Like EBC, there was like a change in the network,
Hmm.
and everything
It was
went.
too bad. It was too bad because
Yeah,
he's got a good heart. He's got a really good heart.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, he was a good showrunner of the show,
Hmm.
and hopefully with the new Disney Plus shows, he gets to do it again.
I hope so, because he's wonderful. He's really wonderful, and his vision is epic. He has epic vision, and it's inspiring to be around him.
Of course, it's
Yeah.
everyone in the cast and the crew. Again, you
Hmm.
deserve all the praise in the world. Well, June,
Thank you.
it's nothing really. It's the truth. Uh, I wanted, like this last minutes we have, I would
Yeah.
like you to promote yourself and to
Okay.
say what's the thing you will do next, if you can tell us, if you're not under an NDA.
I'm not. I am
June.
actually working on a show. I'm producing a show that is going up in Zimbabwe right now. We're
Uh-huh.
in the second week of rehearsals, and I'm not going to be there, but yeah, it's a show. It's a play that I wrote.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I think it's going up in Harare, and it's called The Good Minister from Kunyarara, and it's about an administrator, a low-level administrator, who finds himself in hot water when his father asks a favor. And the director's name is Bob Tafadzwa Bob Mutumbi, and he's incredible, and it's an incredible cast. Uh, I feel so lucky to get to be doing it, to see it come to life. And then I'm working on plays with the Vagrancy Theater,
Mhm.
which is based in Los Angeles and in the Midwest, and working on a second play going up that will be part of Echo Theater Lab, and also in Los Angeles. So I'm writing right now and auditioning.
That
Yeah.
sounds everything so great.
Yeah,
And
it's a really fun, productive time.
will this place be able to will we be able to watch it if we're not in the US?
Yes. The plays will be on accessible on, let's see, I believe YouTube.
Uh-huh.
You guys get YouTube, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. YouTube will be for the play with vagrancy, the blossoming play. And I'm not quite sure how we're going to do the one in Zimbabwe right now, but we're gonna make sure that people can see it online. Yeah.
I can't wait to see them. I mean,
Yay. I'll
uh,
send you information as soon as I have it.
oh, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I'll
Uh,
totally send it.
I will make sure that whenever the shows is available to make a bit of promotion.
Okay. Thank you.
It's nothing.
No, that actually means a lot. That means a lot. Thank you.
Well, when there is talent and it's something worth watching, uh, for me it's nothing. It's nothing to promote something that will be good. That I know that will be good.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're more than welcome. Well, June, uh, our time has ended, and thank you so much for joining our interview. It's been a pleasure,
Such
and
a pleasure to talk to you.
thank you. And of course, you're more than welcome to join us whenever you want.
Thank you.
Uh,
Okay.
this is your home, and you
Okay.
can come whenever you want.
Okay. Then I will say I'll see you later.
We'll see. I'll see you later.
Yeah, this was so fun. Thank you so
It
much for
was.
just talking.
I had a blast.
Me too. Me too.
Thank you so much, June.
All right. All right. Well, till next time.
Till next time. Bye.
Bye.